Alright, we're going to go over how to use the TI-36 to evaluate a Poisson's distribution. Okay? It's not real hard to do this on a 36. It works an awful lot like the TI-84 does. It's just things are in a different location. Okay, you can see my lights. Yeah, I got quite a bit of lights up above here. It's aquarium lighting, but I've said that before. Anyhow, to find Poissons, you hit second. And right here, it says stat reg distribution, so you hit second that. You go over to distribution, you scroll down, and you can find Poisson's PDF and CDF. PDF is for one X value, CDF is for multiple. Right now, we're going to do one. Okay? We're going to do single, and then ask for the mean, and ask for S. So let's do an example. This piece of paper, you can print this. It's in the video description. The average number of homes sold by Acme Realty Company is 2 times per day. With the what is the probability exactly 3 will be sold tomorrow? Okay, so what we're going to do here is Poisson's works off an average. So we're going to use this right here. This is our average equals 2. And I want exactly 3, so this is going to be my X. When we look at our calculator, it wants the mean, so we're going to tell it 2. And then we tell it X equals 3. Okay? And then I just hit calculate. And it tells me 0.1804. So it's spot 1804. Okay? It's pretty simple to use Poissons in this calculator. It outlines everything fairly well. And this calculator keeps surprising me and doing weird things sometimes. All right, next one. Suppose the average number of lines seen in one-day safari is 5. What's the probability tourists will see fewer than 4? Now this one, fewer than 4, means I'm going to have multiple values for X. Our average is 5. My X values fewer than 4 is 0, 1, 2, and 3. And won't go over 4. Now, when I have multiple values like this right here, I'm doing Poisson's CDF. Okay? So I'm going to use Poisson's CDF on that one. Now, Poisson's CDF counts 0 to X. Okay? So it counts from 0 to X, so you got to be careful with that. This one does count 0 to 3, so my X value is going to be 3. So on this, I'm going to tell it quit because I don't want PDF anymore. I'm going to hit my second stat button again, go over to distribution. You can hit the up and get to CDF. I'm going to do single. We're going to explore what list does in a minute. Our mean on this time is 5, so I'm going to type in 5. Now my largest X value will be 3. And 3 is already there from the previous problem, so I can hit calculate. And it gives me my answer is 0.265. So my answer is 0.265. Okay, let's see what single is. So let's hit solve again. No, we're going to hit quit. We're going to go second distribution. Let's go to Poisson CDF. Okay, let's do list this time and see what happens. I see. This way I can put in a whole bunch of X's and it'll calculate them all. Let me quit that. Let's hit data. Let's make my X list here. Just 0, 1, 2. That way it all displays on the screen at once. Now let's hit second distribution. Go over to distribution. Let's do Poisson CDF. We're going to pick list this time. Now my X list will be L1. I want to save to L2. The mean is 5. Let's hit calculate. What that's doing is it's for the probability for X equals 0 is that, for the probability 0 and 1 is that, for the probability 0, 1, and 2 is that. It's giving me all of them. So I can put a bunch of X's in here and I get all of them in this column. That's what the list function does here. Okay, took me, I've seen it before. I didn't quite understand what it was doing. Now I do. We didn't go all the way to 3, so if I wanted to, I could come in here and put 3. And let's go back and do that again. Second distribution, over to stat. Let's do Poisson CDF. Let's put it on list. Everything's fine, so I just hit calculate. Notice the 3 is the same number I have here, the 0.265. So that's what the list is doing, is it's counting down. Now, this could be useful if you can manipulate the list, but I can add formulas, but it's not going to be useful there. Okay, so if you hit the data button twice, it pulls up this clear and formula thing. What I'd like to be able to do is bring up L1 and manipulate it like L1 of 1. I know you can do that in the 83, 84, but it doesn't look like you can do it here. Okay? No, doesn't look like you can do it there. But it's still kind of cool that it'll give you a list like that, and I don't see anywhere where I can do it. Alright, so let's go to the next problem. If electricity power failures occur due according to a Poisson's distribution, the average of 3 failures every 20 weeks. Calculate probability that there will not be more than 1 failure during a particular week. Now, one of the things about Poissons is you can adapt the average over to your problem. So my average will be 3 divided by 20. Because I want the average for 1 week, we have the average for 20 weeks. So I take the average for 20 weeks divided by 20 weeks, and I get the average for 1 week. That comes out to 0.15. Okay, no more than 1 means x will be 0 and 1. So I'm doing the Poisson's CDF again. So we're going to hit second data, go over to distribution. Scrolling up, we're going to Poisson CDF. I'm going to leave it on single this time. The mean is going to be 0.15. Now here you can type 3 divided by 20. This calculator doesn't care about that, and it changes it to the 0.15. My x value is going to be 1, because remember Poisson's uses the biggest x value. So I'm going to put 1 in there. Poisson CDF uses the biggest x value. Hit calculate. I get 0.9898. Okay. Now, one more, and then this video is done. Okay. What's the probability of getting more than 2 failures per week? So my average is staying the same of 0.15. But more than 2 means x is 3, 4, 5, ... Okay? For this one, I'm going to have to do total minus what I don't want. When I do this one, I'm going to end up using the store feature on here so I can store it somewhere. Okay? Now, what I don't want will be x equals 0, 1, and 2. Because that's not included in my list over here. The total for probability is always 1. So I'm going to go to Poisson CDF again. I'm going to hit solve again. The mean is 0.15, but this time my x is 2 because the biggest x is 2. I'm going to hit calculate. Now I get 0.99949. Okay, I want to solve that, save that value, so I'm going to store that in y is fine. Then I'm going to quit. Okay, so we have this in y, so I want to do 1 minus y to get my answer. So I type 1 minus. Remember, you get the variable button down here and you hit it until y appears. I press enter and I get my answer, which is 0.0005. Okay, and you can bring up y by itself by just pressing the variable button until y shows up, and that shows you that it did save the number correctly. Alright everyone, hopefully you found this helpful and it will be useful in your future.